Let's read a 9-card tableau together. The question for this exercise is a classic that I get all the time. How does my person of interest feel about me? So we are going to begin by giving a glance to the reading. We can see that elementally the reading is strong in air with 4 positions. We can see that there is some earth with the Empress. We can see that there is fire with wands, and we can see that we have a little bit of water with the Queen of Cups and the Moon. However, it is not an element that's particularly positively aspected in the same way that Earth might not be showing the most positive aspect here. If we look at the spine of the reading with our nuance, our core, and our outcome positions, we begin with the 3 of Swords. This announces that we are looking at this reading from the lens of a person that's not having a particularly good time, or that is not particularly open towards starting a relationship. Maybe someone that is dealing with some things, maybe someone that's dealing with a heartbreak. Then at the core we have the Knight of Swords surrounded by fire in our present row, which suggests to me that what is sustaining the idea that something might be happening here for the querent has to do with communication that might be intense, that might be present, but that is not happening on a sustained or on a consistent basis, right? Then we have the Moon as the outcome, and the Moon is not a card of a particular clarity. So looking at everything else in the spread, we might come to the conclusion that when it comes to romantic feelings, there are not any. I will elaborate on this in a moment, but we can see that the behavior of this person towards the querent, or at least the behavior of this person towards the querent as the querent interprets it, might leave room for doubt, even if we cannot come to the conclusion that romantic feelings are happening here. Why do I say that we can't come to the conclusion that romantic feelings might be happening here with the cards on the table? Well, if we begin to look at this first row and we look at how the situation came to be, we can see that there has been a sustained period of wait and see that has preceded this question or this situation, and in which nothing has really come to fruition. We can knight the 3 of Swords with the 10 of Wands and with the 8 of Swords too, which also reinforces that the idea that this person is not particularly emotionally available and might be carrying their own pain right now, not really focusing on opening up emotionally. There are no cards on the table that suggest union or coming together. We have elementally speaking, we don't have a reading that is reinforcing emotional availability or emotional openness. In fact, if we look into this last row, we can see that this person, the Queen of Cups, is looking away from the reading, almost disinterested in what's going on, and that there is no movement for this cups in here, right? This water is being directed in a different direction, not towards the reading, not towards the future, not towards the person that is asking, and what we have is a situation that does not move. We can see that the 8 of Swords knights the 3 of Swords, knights Justice, which is a very slow card, and that also reinforces the idea that communication might continue, but that is not really bringing things forth in a way that leads to growth. So if we go back to the question, what does this person feel about me? What does my person of interest feel about me? The querent, what we can see is that this is not a person that has a particular focus, the intention of developing something romantic with the querent. We can see that this is a person that might be looking to distract themselves from the emotional burden that they are carrying, or from their own, from confronting their own difficulties, which might be something that they are relying on the querent on. But if the question, which is precisely how does X feel romantically about me, then we can conclude that romantically there is not a lot going on. If you enjoy this style of reading, I recommend that you check out Tableau Revolution, where you will learn all about this reading technique. Give a try to your interpretation and let me know in the comments what you think.